The investment that you're making is about proximity to high level peers, strategic breakthroughs you wouldn't get elsewhere, acceleration of your business and your confidence. So reframe this as you're not spending money. You're investing in one ripple effect idea that could shift everything. And really, truly, one ripple effect idea that you get could shift everything.
My guest today is a dear friend of mine.
One of them goes, that one over there, she's big money. And it was my guest today.
Her name is Amy Porterfield.
Amy Porterfield, the ever amazing,
best-selling author of 2 Weeks Notice, Miss Amy Porterfield.
I was just having a conversation with one of my Millie Club members. Her name is Devin, and she's one of my favorite students. I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but she's just an action taker. And I've gotten to work with her in 2 of the Millie Club cohorts, which is really cool. And I've gotten to understand her business at a deeper level. So here's what she does. She has a podcast. It's called Point Me to First Class. Such a great name because it's a show for professionals and business owners with higher than average personal or business expenses who want to leverage these expenses into credit card points that they could spend on travel. So very specific, right? And she has a program called Points Made Easy. Now, here's why I wanted to bring her up on this episode. She just had her biggest launch yet. And why that's so significant is she just has one program that she sells a few times a year. And get this, she doesn't do webinars. She doesn't do video sales letters, VSLs. She doesn't even do boot camps. And you all know how I feel about a really good boot camp. What Devin has is a community on Facebook that she has nurtured for a while now. And this community is really engaged and she's engaged in the community and it has grown over the years. And when she launches her course, she uses the community to let everybody know that it's coming, which they get on a wait list. I'm going to tell you about her wait list in a moment. It's not an average wait list. And then when she launches, when she opens the doors to her program, it's an email marketing campaign. Now, for her to be in the Millie Club means that she makes really good money for the record. So I'm not going to give her numbers away, but she did incredibly well. Biggest launch yet, just recently, with a community, a wait list, and email marketing. And the reason I bring that up is because I love when I see women do marketing in their way that's authentic to them. And I don't want to leave you hanging. So with her wait list, she actually gives perks to those who are on her wait list and that enroll when she opens the doors. So it's not just get on my wait list, I'll tell you when it's open, but there's perks related to it. And her community knows that, which makes it even cooler. But again, getting back to how she launches in such a simple way. And she makes such an impact with these women that she serves. And her launches are only getting bigger in a year where many people's launches are not hitting their goals. And that's just normal. I've seen it with so many of my students. So when I think of Devin and how incredibly well she is doing marketing on her terms, the way she feels comfortable marketing, and then I think of the other powerful moments that I've witnessed with the women that I've had the honor of serving inside the Millie Club. I've been thinking a lot about growth and how it happens at these higher levels. Because shout out to my Made to Scale Mastermind, I also have another group of women making $1 million or more in a year in my mastermind. And so I just started thinking about how important it is to be in these rooms. And for the record, you don't need to be making tons of money to get in rooms like this, but you do want to find yourself the opportunities to get in proximity with other people that are doing big things. It just makes such a difference. Now, it's not just about growing your business, but growing into the kind of woman who can lead at the next level. That's why these rooms, these memberships and masterminds and the Millie Club and all of that are so important because again, you start growing into the kind of woman who can lead at that next level that you want to lead at because you have proof all around you that it can be done. So when you can build something sustainable, something meaningful, when you can leave a legacy that you're proud of, to me, that's what it's all about. That's what we should be moving toward. And for so many women that I've gotten to work with, the next level growth, it didn't come from pushing harder. So come back to me if you're multitasking. I wanted you to really hear that one. The women that I'm seeing really grow their business, they didn't do it by just pushing harder. It came from choosing to stop growing alone. And that part is that little shift that made such a big difference. Because when you're in the room, when you're in the right room, a room full of women who are thinking bigger and leading stronger and being real about what it actually takes, you don't just grow your business, you grow into the leader who can carry your business further. And the best way I know to find that kind of room is through different high level masterminds or programs that are attracting the women that are either where you're at or even better, women that are a little bit ahead of you, but you still have the opportunity to be in the room. I love that. If you've been with me for a while, you know that right when I left my corporate job, I joined a mastermind. In fact, I was in that same mastermind for 2 years. And I would guess that I was one of the women making the least amount of money. I mean, I had just left my corporate job. I might have had 2 clients at the time. So I had the benefit to be surrounded by other women that are already gotten started. They weren't making tons of money yet, but they were doing really well. And so I think those are like the rooms that you want to get into. Of course, you still want to add value in your way, in the way that you can, but it's such a perk when the other people in the mastermind or group or whatever are actually a little bit ahead of you and willing to share with you what they did to get there. That's when you win big, right? So masterminds and clubs and associations like that I'm talking about offer so much more than just accountability or just education. They offer expansion and proximity to possibility. Expansion and proximity to possibility. So, in this episode, I'm walking you through the key questions to ask before you make any high level investment into a mastermind or something like a mastermind, and how to know if you're ready for one. And I'm going to share some of the real reasons why some masterminds are game changing. Like, what are those elements that you should be looking for? Okay, so first, how do you know you're ready? The thing is, you don't wait until you feel ready because readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And here's how you know that you're ready to join a mastermind. You got to ask yourself if your next 12 months depend on the quality of your thinking and your strategy and your inner circle, is your current environment built to support that? I'm going to ask you that one more time. If your next 12 months depend on the quality of your thinking, your strategy, and your inner circle, which hint they do, then is your current environment built to support that? If the answer is no, it's time to look for a mastermind. Now, at this level, it's not always about learning more. It's about making better, faster, more aligned decisions. So you know you're ready when content isn't what you're craving anymore. This is really interesting and actually funny I'm bringing it up now because it kind of relates to last week's episode when I talked to Julie Solomon and we talked about messaging. And she said that you don't want to market to people that all they want is 5 steps to this and 10 steps to that and 20 steps to this. Because she said you're going to give them 50 million steps and they're not going to make any decisions. So she gets into that and why that matters in that episode. So just amyporterfield.com/35. You could go check it out. But I want to repeat really the point here. You know when you're ready for something bigger, when you're not just craving more information or more content. Because at this level, you're not looking for another course or checklist, quite honestly. You're looking for elevated conversations, the kind that challenge your assumptions and collapse your timelines and stretch you as a CEO. So, just something to think about. I know this because when I get people into the Millie Club or into my mastermind, they are looking to go deeper quickly. And this is something I had to learn. It wasn't until about a year ago that I started my very first mastermind. Shortly after that, I opened the Millie Club. By the way, the Millie Club, the third cohort, is opening very soon. So if you're curious, so if you make 500K or more a year and you want to get to that $1 million mark and beyond, just go to amyporterfield.com/Millie, Milly. And there's a wait list, and I'll tell you more about the program. And don't worry, I have something for you coming up that I've been working on if you're not yet making 500K a year. So I haven't forgotten about you. I'm actually knee deep in creating a coaching program for you. So stay tuned because I'm going to start talking about it soon. And I'm very excited about it. However, let's get back to the episode. So I want you to really ask yourself, are you craving elevated conversations? And if so, then you've got to start expanding your opportunities and finding the groups that are right for you. Okay, so you might be asking, okay, how do I know what groups or mastermind or club? I'm using a lot of different words, but we're talking about high level opportunities where you're paying good money to be in them. And usually they're hosted by someone who's gotten really big results and willing to teach you how they've gotten those results. So when you ask, well, Amy, which mastermind is right for me? How would I know that? Well, once you've decided a mastermind is the best option for you to invest in, before you apply or commit or invest any money, here's what I want you to consider. First, you've got to audit the host. Do you respect the host, let's say, business or circumstances? Like, it's not always about business, right? You could join a mastermind that could be about something other than business. But because I speak to people about growing their businesses and making money, I'll just use that as an example here. But let's say you wanted to join a mastermind to grow your business. Do you respect the host's business? Would you trade places with them in some areas? And that's such a great question because the mastermind shouldn't be all about the host, but the host is going to have a big part in your journey of transformation. And so you've got to ask yourself that. And this host that is putting on the mastermind, are they transparent about what their methods are, their strategies are, and are they willing to share how they got there? So are they going to take you behind the scenes in a way that could really help you? Because you're not just learning from their strategies, you're borrowing their lens. So you're looking at their values and their leadership style and their boundaries and how they manage their time and how they lead their team and how they show up in the world. That energy is going to influence you. So you've got to really respect the person who is encouraging you to join their mastermind. And if you say, yeah, Amy, okay, I'm thinking of a program, I respect the host, then look at who they attract. So masterminds are rarely about the curriculum. Like, I don't even have a set curriculum for either of my Millie Club or my Made to Scale mastermind. Now, there's teaching for sure, and there are strategies and nuances and techniques that I know I'm going to share in each one differently. But there's not like, watch this, then watch that, and then watch this, and then do that. That's not what these groups are for. They're about the caliber of the conversations. And that comes down to who's in the room. So you want to ask yourself, are these the kind of people I want to collaborate with? Do they stretch my thinking while still feeling like peers? Because I have to say, when I joined that first mastermind, when I first left Tony Robbins, everyone didn't feel like they were way above me, that I didn't fit into the group. I still felt like I was a peer in the group. I just was aware of who was doing way better than me. And then I was really watching them closely and seeing how they navigated through the group and what they shared. So that's something you want to think about. Also, ask yourself, is this a community that will both challenge me and like get me? Will I be understood in this group? Maybe not by everybody. There's a lot of different personalities in my communities, but will they get me? It was funny. I have a new Made to Scale mastermind. I love her. Her name is Cara. And I'm not saying her last name in case she doesn't want me to, but Cara, one of the things I loved when she joined the mastermind and she wrote in Slack and introduced herself, she said, I think it was her, Cara, if you're listening and it wasn't you, forgive me, but someone the day you posted, because I'm thinking of your post, said something like, it's so hard sometimes to be in a group where people totally get you and they understand like what you're doing and what you're about. And when I saw that, I was like, it's so true. And so to be in a group that, in my case, you could talk business all day long and you can talk webinar conversions and you can talk about ideal customer avatars and you can talk about funnels and everyone's like, yeah, tell me more. Let's keep going. That's the reason why I'm so close to Jenna and Jasmine, as much as we love each other. And of course, we know about each other's private lives and we share really intimate things with each other when we're struggling in our personal lives. The bulk of the conversation, though, is always about work. Like anytime I want to talk about work, I could text either of them. And I think that's cool about masterminds and the Millie Club and things like that. People just get you and they're excited to talk about the things that you love to talk about. So what you want to do is avoid generic, open to everyone groups. Like look for intentional, aligned communities. And if you're not making a lot of money now and you still want to be in these, there's communities out there for you. You don't need to pay $20,000, $30,000 to be a part of these communities if you're not ready to pay that yet. So look for communities that are a good fit for you, and they don't always have to be super expensive when you're not yet making money. But I believe when you are making good money, I think you should invest that into high level masterminds where you feel as though the peer group and the host are people you're aligned with. Okay, now next you want to look for structure. How many people are in it? How many calls are there? Are there any guest experts? Are there hot seats? Does the style match how you learn? Like, is it large cohorts or small cohorts? It's not going to be perfect. Like, not everybody who comes into the Millie Club are made to scale. It's like exactly what they want. I'm sure they'd love more one-on-one time with me. I'm sure they'd love more time to ask a bunch of questions. Even though I have that, there's only so much I could do as one person, right? But if you go into a group and the way they set it up is not what you like at all, it's just not your style, it's probably not going to be a great group for you. Another question is, do they have any live events? And are you excited about that? Now, I will say, I have a few introverts that would rather me not do live events. For the Millie Club, I do one when we open it up. Millie Club is 6 months. So when we open it up, I have a live event in Nashville. When we close it, I have a live event in Nashville. At the time of this recording, we're finishing up cohort 2 and my Millie Club members are coming to Nashville for 2 days. And then made to scale, I actually have 3 live events in Nashville because it's a year-long cohort. And so you might not love live events because one, you might not want to travel away from your family. And two, you're just an introvert and don't love it. I do say stretch yourself in these 2 areas because this is me. I'd rather never travel. I'm just like traveled out. And so if you said I never have to travel for business again, I'd say sign me up. But I do it because every time I get in the room, I'm like, why don't I do this more often? This stretches me. This is expansive. This is what I need. And so live events, if you don't love them, like mastermind live events or whatever they are, I would have you come out of your comfort zone for that one. Now, before you apply to any mastermind or special group like this, or before you say yes to one, run the opportunity through this 4-part check-in. So number 1, is the host modeling the kind of business or the kind of atmosphere or experience, if it's not related to business, that I want to get to the next level? So ask yourself, would I trade places with them in this current season? Not forever, not like, do I want their life? That sounds super creepy, but like, can you see yourself in their shoes in the future? And then number 2, will the conversations in this room challenge how I currently think and operate? So ask yourself, will this group stretch my standards, refine my ideas, elevate my expectations? That's not always comfortable. So if you join a mastermind, I'm going to tell you right now, you're likely going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be nervous. If it's in person, like a few sessions in person, you're going to be dreading it. That's all normal. Not everyone. Some of my students like can't wait till our live events, but I know a lot of them are like, ooh, this is out of my comfort zone. But I want you to be challenged. I know you're sick of hearing me say this if you read my newsletter or if I've mentioned it on another podcast episode. I actually mentioned it last week, but I'm doing this new program to clean up my food and really push me in the gym. Like I want to go to the next level. And it's not like I love every day, but I love the challenge. That's what's keeping me in it. I crave being challenged right now. Not always, but I want you to crave being challenged and allow this mastermind to kind of push you beyond what you think is possible. And like this new program I'm in, I've been lifting weights that I never thought was possible. Wait, I got to stop and tell you a quick story though. And I haven't told her this yet. But Stacy Tushel, my good friend, is also in this program I'm in. And she posted online one of her workouts. And it was this goblet squat. So you hold this big weight, your feet are a little elevated in the back, like you put them on like a disc weight or something. Now I'm making no sense, but your feet are a little elevated and you full on squat with this goblet, this big dumbbell in your hand. You go up and down. So I was doing 20 pounds. I thought that was really good. And I was squatting all the way down. I have a little bit of a bum knee, so I have to be careful, but I was doing it. And then Stacy posts on Instagram, she's doing a 50-pound weight. I was doing 20 and I thought, oh, I'm so good. And right away I was like, oh, no, you don't. And so, of course, my competitive spirit, I totally sent her a message. I'm like, 50 pounds. So you can bet the next time I went in the gym, instead of being smart and saying, okay, I'll go to 30 and then 40 and then 50 over the next few weeks. Oh, no. I picked up the 50. First of all, could hardly lift it. I'm thinking, what is happening? I finally get it up and I do. And I did 3 sets of 8. And I cannot even tell you how sore I am. Like the bottoms of my butt cheeks are hurting so bad that I'm walking funny. I might have hurt myself. This is not something you should try to do, but I'm sharing this with you because my competitive spirit is very high and I think that serves me well. And so not always, because now my butt cheeks hurt, but some of you kind of shy away from a little competitiveness, but I want you to compete with yourself. And I want you to say, look, I've gotten myself to here. How do I get myself here? And I'm going to compete with myself, meaning push myself beyond what I think I'm capable of. I really do believe that's how you grow your business. You got to get a little fire in you. You got to be a tiger sometimes. And so anyway, sometimes it hurts your butt cheeks and sometimes it doesn't. But how many times am I going to say that word on one podcast? I'm kind of embarrassed now. But anyway, I want you to be a tiger. I want you to push yourself. And I think competition is good. Not always, but most of the time. Okay, number 3, can I clearly define what I want to walk away with? So ask yourself, what would a clear business shifting win? Now, again, I'm using business as the example for the mastermind, but what would a clear business shifting win look like for me, like in 90 days? Kind of get clear about what you're looking for and what you want, just to make sure those expectations could line up. And then 4, do I feel pulled toward this room or pushed by pressure and the fear of missing out? So I don't want anyone to join the mastermind or the Millie Club if they're just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I should be there. My friends are there, or I know it's right for me. I totally don't want to do it, but I'm just going to do it because I have FOMO. Oh my gosh, no. The right room will energize you. The wrong ones make you feel like you need to prove something. So how do you get around this? You ask yourself, am I joining out of alignment or out of anxiety? Like I joined this new health program at a full alignment. I've been working hard for a year and a half. I've hit a plateau. Bring it on. But if I just joined because Stacy joined, because she joined before me, and that was the only reason, like, oh my gosh, Stacy's in it, I'm going to miss out. I need to join. I would not be doing a good job. And I feel like I'm a star student in this program. And so join for the right reasons. Now, if you're a strong yes on, let's say, 3 out of 4 of these types of questions, you're likely ready to go, my friend. But before you join, you should also be able to speak with the host or someone on that team before joining. And I'm talking about a significant investment, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Before you put down that kind of cash, and I've done that many times, even in my very early days when I didn't have a lot of money. I'm all about investing in myself to get in the right rooms. But before you do that, I think you should be able to talk to the host or someone on the team just to make sure that you feel like you're a good fit. And quite honestly, they feel like you're a good fit as well. If there's no vetting process or just only an application for that price point, I think that's a red flag. And so, like for the Millie Club and the Made to Scale Mastermind, I vet everyone. I get on the phone with everyone where I've read their application. I think they're a good fit. We get on a 30-minute call and it's a vibe check. I want to make sure that they're a good fit for the mastermind. I want them to think that they're a good fit for the mastermind and I'm someone they want to learn from. So I personally am vetting all the people that come into the Millie Club and the mastermind, but I could have someone on my team do it as well. I want to know who I'm accepting into the program. So, how to get the most out of a mastermind. So, once you say, okay, I'm in, you go through the process, you enroll, you're in the room, the ROI is not guaranteed, it's earned. So, I want to make sure you heard that. The ROI, it is not guaranteed, it's earned. The most successful members aren't the ones who know the most, they're the ones who know how to show up. So, here's how to do that strategically. First, lead with value. Show up like the kind of leader you want sitting next to you. Masterminds aren't about airtime. They're about how you contribute when no one's watching. So that means taking notes for someone else during their hot seat or offering a resource or introing someone to someone you know that could really help them. Like in one of my masterminds, one of my students gave an intro to another student to help her get into Target with her product. Like that's a huge get, right? And so those are the kinds of things I love. Or one of my students suggested a great lawyer to the other person, and that lawyer has really shifted their business. So it's those kind of things. You can offer a resource without even being asked, or sharing wins and failures to create real connection, celebrating others when it's not your turn. Like those micro moments build fast trust. And in high level rooms, trust is the most valuable currency. Also, you want to start building real relationships on purpose. So don't wait for connection, just create it. So let me tell you something I've learned from being in masterminds and running now my own masterminds. The biggest breakthroughs rarely come from a hot seat or a guest expert. They come from a DM or a side conversation at a break at the live event. That next level connection, the kind that unlocks referrals and partnerships and collaborations, or a single sentence that shifts your entire strategy, it happens when you go in committed to building relationships and not just collecting takeaways. It's funny, so many of my students have said, that one thing you said, Amy, that's what unlocked it for me. Or they'll say that one thing Kate said, or that one thing Cara said, or that one thing Bridget said. So you just never know what you contribute, how far that can go. So those are the moments that you want to be open to. So here's what I want you to do once you're in the room. I want you to choose 3 women or men or whoever's in the room with you, but just 3, and commit to getting to know them. Send a message, jump on a 15-minute call, follow up after a group session. Don't overthink it. Just be genuine and real and reach out with curiosity and generosity, but kind of have your eye on a few people like, I'm going to be intentional about this. And also ask questions that actually matter. Like, what's one decision that feels heavy for you right now, like in your business? Or like questions, like if you're connecting with someone, ask them questions that when you hear their response, it will mean something to you and it will maybe add value to them to talk about. I hate small talk. Like Hobie does not like this about me because when we're out and about, let's say on date night and someone starts talking to us, I don't want to be rude and I never am. But if there's a little too much small talk with like other people in our group, I just like find my way out of it as quickly as possible. And then why he hates it is he is left alone doing the small talk, but I'll go deep really quick. And so, ask really great questions. It will open the door to that connection. And then make it your job to be helpful. If someone mentions they're hiring, share their job description. If they're stuck on a funnel, maybe offer a tip that worked for you. And if you don't have something to add just yet, that's okay. Listen closely, ask thoughtful questions. They'll be valuable to other people as well. Sometimes the most valuable thing you can give is your presence and your perspective. and stay consistent. So great relationships don't happen from one conversation. They happen because you followed up, because you're engaged. So you want to check in with people, circle back with a voice note, maybe after someone does a hot seat and say like, I've been thinking about you and I wanted to share XYZ. Remember what people are working on and check in on them. Be brave, be the first one to reach out, send DMs. I think that's a great way as well. I think I said this in another call, but in my mastermind, I noticed that Slack, we have Slack for Millie Club and Mastermind. People can DM me and have their own conversations. And then we have group conversations. But my mastermind was super quiet. So finally I said to the group, do you guys not want to, uh, every time I say you guys, it like is so loud in my ears because it's such a California thing. But I know I'm talking mainly to women. So I want to say, do you ladies not enjoy the Slack channel? Like, should I shut it down? And they're like, Amy, what you're not seeing is all the DMs that we're having with each other. And then I thought, oh my gosh, of course. I think that's so cool. I think that's where the real magic happens, those one-on-one connections. Okay. So you need to decide what success looks like for you before you ever walk in the room. So before you ever join that first call or post in the Slack channel in your new mastermind group or traveled to that in-person event, define what success actually looks like for you and ask yourself these 3 questions before your mastermind actually begins. Number 1, what decision have I been avoiding that's keeping me stuck in my current level? So what decision have I been avoiding that's keeping me stuck? 2, what constraint, if removed, would unlock exponential growth or peace of mind? So what constraint, if removed, would unlock growth? And what result would create a ripple effect across multiple parts of my business? So I want you to think about those questions, ask those questions, and really just maybe even journal on them. But at the same time, that's up to you now. It's not up to your host. It's not meant for your mastermind members to fulfill for you. You need to fulfill those questions. Like answer the questions and then say, I'm going to be intentional to get these questions answered or to fulfill these goals I have that are kind of behind what these questions are asking. And something to think about, you could say, if I leave this mastermind with like insert the result or when you want, it will have been 100% worth the investment. So that sentence now becomes your North Star. It gives you permission to focus and say no to distractions and fully own the way you move through the mastermind. But it's up to you. It's not up to me as the host or the other members of the group. It's up to you to get what you need. You have to kind of make sure that you are standing up for yourself and you're getting what you need. Now, let's talk about justifying the investment because I'm talking about clubs and masterminds that are expensive. It should feel uncomfortable. That's the fire that helps you show up and take action. It should light a fire under you. The investment that you're making is about proximity to high level peers, strategic breakthroughs you wouldn't get elsewhere, acceleration of your business and your confidence. So reframe this as you're not spending money. You're investing in one ripple effect idea that could shift everything. And really, truly, one ripple effect idea that you get could shift everything. So really reframe this like, I've got to spend that much money, but you've really got to see what could this do for you and also look to your future self. Would she be proud of you if you took the risk now to invest? What would she be able to do in the future if you got the courage to take this leap? Something to think about. Okay, so we're going to close up here. But when I joined my very first high level mastermind, I've talked about it before, it was with Marie Forleo, Rich, Happy, and Hot. I certainly didn't look ready on paper when I applied. And if I'm being honest, I was not financially or emotionally ready. I cried during that mastermind more times than I'd like to admit, like not in front of everyone, but back in my hotel room. I was just terrified. I didn't feel like I belonged in the beginning. And I was embarrassed because I had just left my corporate job, but I wanted to be in that room. And quickly I realized these are my peers. Not everyone is like doing major things beyond me. Some were, like I said, but not everyone. And I started to kind of rework how I looked at it. So I was very scared just in the beginning and I hardly could afford it. So that made it even scarier. I wouldn't change it for the world. I really think that those 2 years that I was in that mastermind were part of the reason why I saw the success I did just a few short years into my business. I don't think I would have had the knowledge and the understanding of what it took if I didn't see these other women doing it. And I remember questioning whether I had made a huge mistake. Like, I didn't tell anyone but Hobie, and I hardly told him in the beginning, which is not great. I was newly married. That's not a great way to start a marriage, but I was a little quiet about the whole thing. Again, but looking back now, I laugh at how small that investment feels compared to what I got from it, because the mastermind gave me the confidence to make decisions faster. It pulled me into conversations I would have never had on my own. And it introduced me to someone who would become one of my closest entrepreneurial friends, longest entrepreneurial friends, Laura Belgray. I always say she's my longest standing entrepreneurial friend. I met her on the plane on the way to the mastermind, and she is a dear, dear friend to me. And so it's just really fun to look back on these wonderful people who have supported me right from the beginning, her being like the number one. And I've told this story a million times, but she reminds me that on that plane ride, I told her I need to make $100,000 to replace my salary that I just left behind at Tony Robbins. That's what I told her. And so it just is so fun to see how far both of us have come. So I got into the right room. I got the strategies I needed. And most importantly, I found my people. And I really believe that could be you as well. Essentially, that's why I created the Millie Club and the Mastermind. So again, if you're making 500K or more in a calendar year, and you're looking to scale and you're looking to grow and you want guidance and you respect me as an entrepreneur and know that I'm going to take you behind the scenes and share everything I know to help you get to that $1 million point and beyond, then do not wait. Go sign up for the wait list for the Millie Club, or you might listen to this and the Millie Club will be open, but it's amyporterfield.com/Millie. So I'm going to help you make smarter, faster decisions that move your business forward. I'm going to help you find and lead a team that grows with you and frees you up, expand your visibility, deepen your authority, drive more revenue. I mean, it's very focused on online marketing strategies to drive more revenue, but not do more. We're not talking hustle. We're not piling it on. In fact, usually my Millie members, I'm telling them to do less and stripping down some of their offers. So it's just a really great experience and you'll create lifelong relationships. So again, amyporterfield.com/Millie, MILLY. All right, my friends, I really hope that you found value in this episode. And I want you to start looking for your opportunities to get in the grooms so you can up level your business and yourself. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful week.